Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. Today is 2021, November 20th, and today we are going to do Wolfram language coding, Wolfram language tutorial. Okay, Wolfram language, fantastic. So let's begin. So I did several Wolfram language by now, maybe 10 in the past, so watch them, okay? So today it's purely Wolfram language, nothing else. You can, please do ask me questions, okay? Ask me questions or any comments, technical. So I'm going to work on Wolfram language, and I'm going to work in Emacs and Wolfram language notebook. And by the way, you can get them free, download for free. Just search for, XRD Wolfram language. Get Wolfram language for free. Or you can buy Raspberry Pi, it comes with it, or you can just buy it, okay? So I'm going to go over Wolfram language today, kind of tutorial. I'm going to work on my Wolfram language tutorial. And Wolfram language, I'm going to work in Emacs as well. So this is my keyboard Kinesis Advantage 2. This is Ultimate Hacking. Just search for XRD Ultimate Hacking, XRD Kinesis Advantage. You will see them. You'll see my reviews and video reviews. So Emacs Firefly keys. So showing browser. So let's begin. So Wolfram language. So first of all, let me show you several ways to work in Wolfram language. Let's say integrate. So integrate. Okay. So if you let's say 1 over x with respect to x. Okay. Do it. Oh, that's log x. Interesting. So let's go back here. Let's make them into a fantastic mathematical notation. None of the LaTeX crap. Okay, so let's change the integral. So actually, so let's go to input mod. Let's by the way, you can also edit this directly, but in general I don't like it. But okay, so let's say x squared. Okay, now showing that, do it. Oh, fantastic. Okay, that's a Wolfram language Mathematica notebook. You can buy it. Okay, now let me show you in terminal. Okay, everyone loves terminal. The Linux people loves terminal. So let's begin. So Wolfram script, run it. Then we're gonna integrate. Okay, 1 over x with respect to x. Yes. Where's my bracket? There it is. Okay, enter. Okay, log x. Okay, let's do it again. Now x squared, enter. 1 over x, and nicely formatted. Fantastic. And let's do the same thing in XA Wolfram mod. Okay, so let's show you. So my Emacs, here is the Emacs workflow for you Emacs users. So I'm going to, for example, right now I'm using XA HTML mod. Okay, so let's see. So you can see at the bottom, you see this. That means XA HTML mod. I'm going to show you. Okay, describe key. Press the key for calling XA HTML mod. Here's a documentation for XA HTML mod, and let's turn on global highlight mod. Okay, so here's XA HTML mod. Go to the source code. Open it. There is a source code. About 4,600 lines of code. Go to the top, and here is the URL. Go to it, show in browser. You can see XA HTML mod. Buy it. Okay, buy it. Support me. And it's open source. Okay. So XA HTML mod, and meanwhile, let's show you. So here is all my mods. So hide the Unix thing. Delete those tilde files. Press X to delete them. Do you want to delete them? Yes. Okay. So these are all my Emacs packages. And you can see, search for Wolfram. There it is, XA Wolfram mod, which is what I'm going to using. I'm also using XAFly keys, which allows me efficient operation of all the, efficient key binding in Emacs, XAFly keys. So, for example, open it. Go to the URL, show in browser, XAFly keys. It's on GitHub. This one is on GitHub. Use it. And XAFly keys. And I'm going to, okay, open it, go to diet, okay, not here. Yeah, close that, go to diet. So, and there it is, Wolfram language mod, and which I'm going to show you. On the pink window, you can see all my Emacs codes and the keystroke I press. I'm using Vorak layout. Okay, so here we are looking at Wolfram language mod. You can see Wolfram language mod, and go to the top. There it is, the URL. Open it, show in browser, XR Wolfram mod. Search the web, you'll find it. Okay, and now let me demonstrate XR Wolfram mod, because we are going to actually use it. So XR HTML mod, insert the code template. Let's say WolframLang. Okay, so you can have, you have WolframLang here. So 1 + 1, for example, and press a key. It opens in its own buffer, you can see, and we can evaluate. No valid password found. That's because I'm running a Wolfram language session here. Now I need to exit here. Now let's run this again. Okay, let's do it again. So you can see 2 at the bottom. Can you see it? Let's see. Yeah, okay, so hide this. So can you see? Yeah, you can see there are 2. Now let's type the same thing. So integrate. Okay, so completion. Okay, that's a feature. Let me show the pink window. So INTE, press tab. So you have all these. Press tab. You have all these Wolfram language functions. So you want integrate, integrate there. There it is. Okay, 1/x with respect to x. Evaluate it. Okay, evaluate and print. So you can see the answer at the bottom, but let's go to the message buffer so you can see there is the answer. So let's do it again, but this time x squared. Do it. Fantastic. You can see there is the answer. So this is in XR Wolfram language mod. Okay, so we just showed, we showed 3 interfaces of using Wolfram language. Fantastic. Now, next, so what I'm going to do today is a kind of Wolfram language tutorial on the task of text processing and shell scripting. For example, if you are using Bash, PowerShell, or if you are a developer, for example, you are a sysadmin or DevOps, the modern Malaysian term, DevOps. So the kind of task is shell tasks, text processing, or launch your program. If it's Amazon S3s, whatever, you want to check the status of processes. You want to go to a directory recursively, find the file if a file exists, or change some config. Those are shell tasks, and we are going to do those using Wolfram language today. I'm going to okay, hold on a second. Let me press a key, then they are back here. Show in browser. You can see we have today's code, Wolfram language, and press a key. You can see undo. Now watch this. Okay, watch this. Let's magnify. So watch this. Press a key, 3 keys. So that command is XR toggle syntax color tags. The key is F9TT. F9 is this key, by the way. So I have it on my Kinesis. So let's do it again. Undo. F9TT. They become, wrapped with these span HTML tags. Now press a key to show in browser. Fantastic. You can see they have, syntax colored. So this is part of the feature of XR HTML mod. Okay, so what is it we are going to do today? Okay, text processing tasks. Okay, let's open it. So I have a tutorial, Wolfram script tutorial. So what is Wolfram script? Wolfram script is this terminal console command line application which allows you to run Wolfram language, code Wolfram language in a text command line interface. That's Wolfram script. It's bundled with when you buy Wolfram language or when you download the free Wolfram engine. So that's what Wolfram script. And here, I have some, I wrote a tutorial. You can see, you can go check it out. And so today I'm going to continue working on this tutorial on some of the shell tasks. Okay, so I'm kind of just going to work on my tutorial, and you guys, hello, Huang. Questions, posted. Okay, so get current directory. So what I want to do, so let's see, get current directory. So let me show you some of the, so for example, typically in shell, one of the most common, let's go to web cd directory, cd web xali info, then go to talkshow, okay, cd to that directory, change directory. Then you can say you list a bunch of directories. So you can say in bash it's ls, same thing. And right now I'm using PowerShell, PowerShell. In fact, the full command name is get child item, same thing. So cd to a directory, and what's a current directory? Current directory, pwd. You see, it tells you what my current directory is. So all these commands, cd current list directory, and list directories recursively. Let's go up, okay, cd ... go up the recurse, okay, that will list directory recursively. So you have like about 2,000, 3,000 files here. Now all these commands are typical shell tasks, and they can be done in Wolfram language too. So for example, let me show you. Okay, so Wolfram language. So how do you cd to a directory? I don't know actually. So, but cd to a directory is not usually used in a script. Usually, because cd to a directory is usually interactive session. But you can do that in Wolfram language too. But I believe that's set directory. Yeah, there it is. Set directory. Okay, let's click on that to see the help documentation. Hello, Joman Molina. Why Mathematica does not give the constant of integration even if you integrate the integral? That's a good question, because by decision, it doesn't make sense to do so. I mean, if mathematically speaking, when you integrate, there's a constant, right? But programmatically, if you create a what's called computer algebra system, which is what Mathematica is, and also Maple, and there are not many these days. I mean, there are a few. Okay, Maple is one of the big competitor. So this application, this kind of program or language is called computer algebra system or symbolic programming languages. Okay, so when you actually create a programming language to do integration, they can, for example, when you design it, of course, someone have to design. You might want to return a constant. You might say, okay, the result should be like plus c, where c is like some built-in variable that can stand for any constant. Okay, you can do that, but it's not practical. You just want to return the integral. You can, that is the reason. I hope that answered the question. So so let's so we were talking about set directory. So let's go to the documentations of set directory. Set the current working directory. That's right. For example, so we can say set directory. Let's do it. Okay, let's try to do it. First of all, what is a current directory? let's do it this way. That will return the current directory, okay? Users documents. Okay, now let's cd to the current directory. I mean to the XAMPP show. Okay, so let's copy the file path in Emacs. Now paste it here. So cd to XAMPP show. Okay. Evaluate it. Now let's do directory again. That shows the current directory. Do it. You see? Now that's equivalent to the Unix cd or PowerShell set directory. So let me show you alias. So in PowerShell you have lots of aliases. Get alias. Okay. Then definition. Then cd. So this means I want to know what is actual full name for the alias cd. Do it. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. So actually, well, what you can do that by help cd. Okay, it will tell you set location. Okay, quit help. Now, or you can do it by get alias dash definition set location. Set local group, set local users, set location. So you can see PowerShell tells you the alias for set location is either cd or chdir or sl. You know, so they provide these aliases for you Unix or the command exe, you know, console Windows console users. So it's convenient. So cd is the most convenient change directory. Okay, so I have, you know, so what is this about? So I just talked about, you know, the various language design issues and naming of functions, which I have particular interest. So for example, we've seen in Bash, it's just cd. Okay, there's no full name. Cd is just it. Cryptic. What the fuck is cd? So, you know, so, and in PowerShell, they provided by default, you have this bunch of aliases. Get children for the or ls. Now in Wolfram language, we've shown, so, you know, directory shows the current directory corresponding to Unix pwd. Okay, in PowerShell, what is pwd? It's get location. Okay, get the current location. You know, that's pwd. Now I don't actually remember what exactly pwd is in Bash. I mean, what does it stand for? Path. You know, it's a Unix cryptic pwd. So, but in Wolfram language, you can see they came from a mathematician's perspective. So directory gives you the current directory, and I think it does something else. I mean, it does. Yeah, it just gives you the current working directory. You know the notion where at any time you have one like current location. You know, that's actually the old concept. So anyway, set directory is like the cd. Okay. And what about ls? You know, in Unix you have ls or the. You know, these directories. Okay. The analogous, the equivalent in Wolfram language would be file names. Okay. Let me show you. Okay, file names. Do it. You see. Okay, so you see it returns a list of all file names in current directory. You know. Yeah. So let's do it again. So cd talk show. Okay. You see a list of file names. So in Wolfram language, that's file names. You know. Okay. So what about if you want recursive? You know, what if you, let's say, so these are all HTML files. So, and some of them are text files. You can see some of them HTML, some of them text. What if you just want HTML files? Okay, let's do it. So the first argument would be a pattern. So star HTML. Okay, enter. So you see now it just give you a bunch of HTML files. Now, how many files are there? So you say, let me show you this, okay? Length, Okay, run it. 369 HTML files. So that means by now I have run 369 YouTube videos, Xao Talk Show. So in PowerShell, we can do the include star HTML, then pipe it to length. I mean, not length, okay. I mixed up Wolfram language with shell. Okay, pipe it to measure. Okay, that's how in PowerShell works. Okay, what? The include HTML, what's going on? What? Okay, that's all HTML files. There it is. Now, why is that 0 before? I made a typo or something. So wait, maybe is it because I don't have recurse? That shouldn't be. I don't have recurse and it's not showing it. Yeah, I don't know why. So anyway, 369 files. That's the way you do it in PowerShell, and the full name would be measure something, measure object. Yeah, that's a full name. So in Wolfram language, it's a length. Okay. And by the way, that syntax is equivalent. So the above syntax is equivalent to. Let me show you. Okay. Common questions posted. Okay. So this double slash is, this file name double slash length is equivalent to this syntax. So the double slash, they function just like the Unix pipe. Okay, that's a postfix notation. So this double slash length means do whatever this, then when it then takes the output and feed it to the input of length. So that's what that means. Okay, let me read the comments. PW is print working directory. Oh my God, the print working directory, the Unix mysteries. What? Integrate XXX. The result, are you saying there's a bug in Wolfram language? Not likely. I mean, there are bugs for sure, but not for that simple thing. So you are asking a question, integrate X twice. I mean, integrate X, then take the output and integrate that again. And you are saying, I don't know what's the math. I forgot about calculus. So, but we can, we could try your result. I don't know what. So what are you saying? Are you saying there's a bug? Not likely. But it should be 3 third power over 6 plus CX. I don't think you are correct. So okay, so just to be sure, let's just to be sure. Hey duos, so okay, it's X third power over 6. I'm certain. I'm 100% certain that is the correct answer. Okay, so Shanghai, do you know of any web app, non-math project built with Wolfram? Of course, Wolfram Alpha. Okay, that's a giant. That's Stefan Wolfram likes to call it the killer apps. The killer apps is a notion among hackers of the 1990s and early 2000s. Stefan Wolfram, he's about 10 years older than me, so we are kind of in the same generation. But today, the killer app notion is kind of gone. Paul Graham, for example, the Lisp god, Paul Graham, the creator of Hacker News, he's also, likes, the the notion of killer apps is also in his mind, because when he wrote the Yahoo store in Common Lisp, he created and sold it to Yahoo for millions of dollars. Then he wrote an article about why Lisp, is the powerful secret weapon for startups to make you become a millionaire, a billionaire. And then he says, so his killer app is the Yahoo store written in Common Lisp. So for Wolfram language, the killer apps is Wolfram Alpha, obviously. So let's go to a browser here. Wolfram Alpha, computational intelligence. Oh, you need JavaScript. Let's turn on JavaScript. Okay. So now let's do integrate. Let's do integrate here. So let's do this integrate twice. Let's see what Wolfram Alpha say. So Wolfram Alpha is written in Wolfram language. Okay. Enter. Oh, wait. Okay, so it says, okay, so why is it indefinite integral? Okay, so that's okay, that's, yeah, I see what you are saying. So what is the answer? So that, good question. So when you integrate something, there is a constant, right? There's a constant. But if you omit that, then the constant disappears. So again, again, I would say this is a question of decision. It's a design issue. Okay, so when you integrate x over x, the result there's a constant. However, in Wolfram language, that constant is omitted. So when you integrate that again, of course, depending on whether you have a constant, that constant matters. So, but you see, if you know the programming language, Wolfram language, you know that the constant is omitted. Therefore, when you type this expression, it's not what you wanted. The syntax is wrong, in other words. But let's see. Okay, let's focus on the question. What happened to the constant? So let's look up the Wolfram documentation. What happened to the constant? There might be an option, so for example, you click on integrate, okay? So integrate, blah, 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 minimal to max, definite integral, then multiple integrals, okay? Then you can specify the domain of the, of the variable. And okay, you can also specify a geometric region, which is called double integral. What is it called? I don't remember. Green integral or something. It's been a long time. So let's see what happens. Let's focus on the constant. Where did the constant go? I mean, they probably have some explanation. Okay, a multiple integral used variable constant iterator notation. For indefinite integrals, integrate tries to find results that are correct for almost all values of parameters, okay? For definite integrals, the following option can be given. Assumptions, okay? You can have some assumptions. General condition, okay? Whether to generate answers that involve condition on parameters, okay? Principal value, okay, whether to find Cauchy principal values. Now, I'm not sure what is principal value. Let's click on that. Okay, I don't know what is the principal value. Go back. So what happened to the constant? Okay. it didn't say here, or did I misread? I'm really sure that the answer somewhere. Okay, scope, lots of to read. Scopes, options, possible issues. Let's click on possible issues. Indefinite integral. Many simple integrals cannot be evaluated in terms of standard mathematical functions. Yeah, that's obvious. Well, I mean, that's obvious to mathematicians. The indefinite integral of a continuous function. Anyway, that's just a design issues. Okay, for example, let's search for constant. Okay, let's see. So yeah, so generated parameter C. So include the constant of integration in an indefinite integral. So if you want the constant, here is what you do. Okay, copy it. Wolfram language, their documentation is very succinct. There it is. There it is, the constant. Very succinct. So because there are 6,000 functions. Okay, I showed before. You can type this. God. You can you can type this, and it will list all functions. Then you can get the length. Okay, let's show it. Okay, so just enter it. Here is the list of all close to 7,000 functions. Okay, 7,000 functions. So you want to know how many are there. So you do that, and length. Okay, let me do this a few times, and we'll see. Okay. Anyway, that's not important. That's digression. So 7,000 functions. Okay, there are 7,000 functions in Wolfram language. Some of them are very advanced special math functions. Only a handful of people understand in a world. Like 1,000 or 2,000. Some of the functions. Okay, mathematical functions. Now, for the mathematical function integrate, that's a very common function, right? Billions of people understand this. But what I'm trying to say is that Wolfram language documentation is very terse and concise. So when you look up a mathematical function or whatever, algorithmic function, computer science, theoretical computer science function, combinators, whatever, when you look up a function documentation, it assumes that the mathematical meaning, the mathematical issue of it. For example, when you look up integrate, it will not try to explain to you, oh, integrate is a part of calculus. It is, the meaning is that when you have a Riemann sum, that's how the function will return the Riemann sum. It doesn't do that. Okay, it assumes what integrate means and all the complexities, such as the constant. Okay, so the Wolfram documentation will be very condensed. It only explains what Wolfram language aspects of this mathematical function. It will not try to explain what is the math notion of integrate. So it assumes you already know, because it's a fundamental fact that when you integrate, there's a constant. It doesn't even mention it. It did mention it. So you see, so that's how we found this. So that's kind of a digression on the documentation, on the one aspect of documentation of Wolfram language. I'm talking about this because I'm very interested in documentation. Yeah. Okay, digression. Let's go to let me recap. So Wolfram Alpha is written in Wolfram language, okay? And Wolfram language itself is mostly written in Wolfram language itself, okay? Wolfram language is written in Wolfram language plus C. C provides the fundamental core, just like Lisp, okay? Emac Lisp is mostly written in Emac Lisp. Same thing with Common Lisp, okay? Common Lisp Emac Lisp, they are written mostly in themselves, but with except 10% is in C. Okay, same thing with Wolfram language. This kind of Lisp family. So Wolfram language is written in Wolfram language, except maybe 10%. I don't know. I don't know how many percent. A core is written in C or C++. They might have, part of it is C++, and probably a small part is assembly. Okay, I don't know you have to. That's a Wolfram, corporation information. And Wolfram Alpha is written in Wolfram language, and basically, essentially the whole website, the Wolfram website, the documentation, they have like 300,000 pages. It's all written in Wolfram language. Okay, that answers part of the question, and that also answers the integrate. You see, it's interesting is that when you use Wolfram Alpha to do this, it actually shows you, the constant there, but not when you use Wolfram language. Why? Because Wolfram Alpha is the audience is generic public. It doesn't assume you already know what integrate is actually supposed to have a constant. It doesn't assume. So you see it. So there's a smartness. So depending on the audience, they do that. Okay, so let me answer some questions. We kind of digressed a little bit. So we talked about Wolfram Alpha is written in Wolfram language, and we talked about the integration details and some aspect of documentation of Wolfram language. And let me show you documentation. I'm obsessive about reading documentation, obsessive to a degree you cannot possibly imagine. Like I said before, the Wolfram language in the 1990s, I coded for over 10 years. So the Wolfram language book is this thick. You can find it all on my website. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, lots of digressions. Let's get back to coding Wolfram language pretty soon. Okay, so here is all my Wolfram language tutorials and guide I've written. And for example, Wolfram language book. Okay, so back in 1990s, every version of Wolfram Mathematica, it was called Mathematica. There's this book. It's 1,200 pages, this thick. So I had, I read it cover to cover, word for word, every word, including whatever words it says on the frontispiece, preface, table of contents, front cover, back cover, inlet. How do you call this part? I forgot. I used to know every part of the book. So I have to read every word, not just every word, but including I have to notice the spelling and the punctuation. Okay, that's my obsession since I was a teen. Okay, so I have an obsession with reading documentation. So I read this thing 3 times in different years. In 1990s, okay, yeah. So digression. So this kind of thing people like to watch, but we should get back to Wolfram language technical detail. The digression, I can talk on this for hours. Okay, so but hold on, let me just show you some more. Okay, so language documentation I'm obsessed about. So I have a complete documentation of of my reading documentation. Let's see where. So computer language perving, XOR on Lisp, syntax soup, semantic noodle. Lots of essays, hundreds of essays on semantics, on syntactical issues. Okay, tons of articles on Lisp. All these articles are about Lisp, and Wolfram language is a Lisp. And Complan perving. So I have past videos you should go watch. And jargons, okay, jargons in the industry. What does OOP means? What's list comprehension? What's a lambda? What should it be? Is the lambda, naming of things, is it proper with respect to what? What is the criteria to have a good naming? Naming is a thing programmers are concerned all the time. naming of things, jargons, tail recursion. That's the obsession of scheme, these people. What's currying, what's closure, this typically the elite hacker types, they are obsessed with this jargon. REPL, they are ass. Okay, they don't know what they're talking about. They have no general sense of the linguistic aspect and social aspect of naming of things, jargons. Why are they there? They cannot even define it. They don't know shit. These elite hacker Unix types, they just enjoy their sloppy puns like the Unix CD PWD. That's so all these jargons, automata, persistent data structure, tag union, So this part is about jargons. Okay. Then jargons. Let me go to the documentation part. I mean the doc by dummies. Okay, so here's a collection of articles where I either criticize the documentation of programming languages or related issues. How it should be, the writing style, the organization. So it's like you can do this for years. Most programmers, they don't know nothing. They don't know. How do you, what is the documentation? What are the aspects to writing a documentation? First of all, you have organization issues. For example, PHP, Python, Perl, Clojure, Java, Emacs, their documentation are all entirely different. Just the organization part. Okay, I can right now demonstrate each one of them. PHP documentation, Java documentation, Python documentation, JavaScript documentation, which doesn't exist, by the way. But basically you go to Mozilla, that's your JavaScript documentation. And Clojure documentation and Unix documentation, the man page, the bash, So I've read them in detail, in depth. PHP, for example, PHP documentation is like 1,000 more than 1,000 pages. I read them every page. I read the entirety in 2006. Okay, twice. I think twice. Then there's also MySQL documentation. I read it from cover to cover. Okay, 1,000 pages. So documentation issues. So this is a collection of my articles on documentation. Doc by dummies. These idiots. The worst documentation is the Unix fuckheads. Okay, the Unix, they don't know how to write. They don't know what they're talking about, and they don't know what they are trying to say. They confuse the idiot. They just think Guok is the word among Unix. Guok. You just when you read something you guok it. Unix. Okay, that's a lot of digression. So here is, for example, what is this computer language documentation size comparison. So I compared, for example, Clojure documentation is 30 megabytes. Okay, SVG scalable vector graphics documentation, the official specification for SVG 1.1 is 6 megabytes. Clojure 30 megabytes. CSS3 spec is 1 megabyte. Okay, CSS2 spec is 15 megabyte. It's like 30 times bigger. Then Java 8 doc 396 megabyte. Java 8 396 megabytes. Okay. then PHP doc 100 megabyte. On my website I used to actually have a mirror of each of these documentation. Eventually I deleted them because they are thousands pages, on my website. I just deleted them. So Python doc, Python 2.7 is 34 megabyte. Python 3.3 is 37 megabyte. This one of the aspect of the documentation. Okay, so I'm obsessed about reading documentation. Then I have criticism on Python doc, on Perl, on style. Now writing style is another aspect of documentation. There's so lots of things to talk about documentation. So that is why I just spontaneously gave you certain of my analysis of one aspect of Wolfram documentation about terseness, about concision, okay? Where I said that Wolfram language documentation, they have 700 functions, 7,000 functions. When it comes to mathematical functions, they don't try to teach you what it is. They assume you already know what integrate is in mathematics. They just cover what the Wolfram language actually do with it. Okay. So today we already talked for 1 hour. We lots of questions, comments. I haven't get them to them yet. Okay, but what are we going to do now? I was then trying to do actually write my tutorials live stream, but it's already 1 hour. So this page is about Wolfram script tutorial, but it's also about, I try to tell you some of the common function names, when you want to use Wolfram language to do shell related tasks. Let's go back. So we explained, for example, how do you list directories. Let's delete the output. So hold on a second. So I think we are going to end in 5 or 10 minutes. So let's delete the output. Edit. Cell. Delete all output. Okay, now it's better. So now we can see. So you see, I showed you what is the equivalent of the or ls in Wolfram language, and also with a pattern, and also let me continue with this one. Okay, this is the beauty of Wolfram language. What if you want all HTML files and let me show you. First of all, let's go to PowerShell. So let's go to xali.info. Okay, what? cd web xali.info. Okay, so here's a list of directories. There's lots of files. Now let's say the recurse file only. We don't need it. We don't need that part. Let's say include. I want all JavaScript files and CSS files. Okay. So recursive, but all JavaScript and CSS files. So there you go. So now let's do just names. Okay, so quite a few JavaScript files and also CSS files. Okay, let's modify. Let's just say I want TypeScript and the CSS. Okay, then let's see how many files are there. Measure. Okay, TypeScript files and CSS files, there are 105 of them in xali.info. Okay, now let's try Wolfram language. Here's how you do it. So give a list. So you have two patterns, .html, .html. Then you have another pattern, CSS. Oh, wait. CSS and TypeScript, okay? TS, okay? So do it. Oh, the current directory is wrong. So remember, we have to set directory. So set directory xali info, okay? So switch to that directory, then do this. Oh, but you want recursive, okay? So so the current directory, okay? So yeah, so here is the current directory, okay? Then recursive. So instead of saying recursive, for example, in PowerShell, you say you say dash recurse. In Bash, you say -r, capital R. Depending on the Unix, BSD, Unix, GNU, Linux, they have different option names for recurse. But in Wolfram language, you give it a number. You give a number to indicate the depth you want. Let's say 99. Okay, so do it. So here is a list of all CSS and TypeScript files. Okay, now let's see how many are there. Length. Do it. 105. Agree. They agree. You see. Now, but what if you have more than 199 directories? Let's say you can say infinite, infinity. Do it. 105, and you can make this into a mathematical typeset. You see that infinity. Run it. 105. Okay, so I showed some of the equivalent of the Wolfram language. The Unix ls or the PowerShell or the Wolfram language, and so then you can delete directory. You can check if a file is a directory or a file, or you can check if a file exists or not, or directory exists or not. This is how you do it in Wolfram language. Or you can get the file extension, or get the file name, or get the directory path. These are very common tasks when you use shell. So you can also get the file date, the modification date, the creation date, the access date. You can get the file size. You can get the file hash. You can print file content, for example, the first 10 lines or the last 10 lines, things like that. How do you read the file? How do you turn a file into a string? You get the file content, write to file and replace string and so on. So that's what this page is about. Okay, that's it. I'm going to read the comments now, and that's it for today. Hi, duos. If you like my stuff, ching ching, you see the $sign somewhere. Okay, pay me. Okay, PayPal, Patreon, Amazon link, Amazon gift card. I have it. You can find how to pay on my website. Or buy my Wolfram language. Buy my Wolfram language package or Starfly key, or my Emacs packages. I've showed you before. There are quite a few. So Dios, you are wondering, what app has been written in Wolfram language? It's used by engineers. Okay, it's used by scientists and engineers. So if you are a physicist, for example, or if you are a mathematician, physicist mostly, let's say, chances are, let's say more than 50% of them, more than 50% of physicists on this earth is probably using Wolfram language right now. Okay. Now you don't know, because most of you, we are programmers. Programmers are not physicists. We don't know mathematics. We don't know engineering. Most programmers, programmers. So you don't know. So NASA, for example, or whatever, when you do rockets, space, or design car engines, those are engineering, mechanical engineering, material engineering, chemistry. When you petroleum, oil, gas, you want to dig into a hole under the ground, or you want like Elon Musk self-driving cars. Wolfram language is all over artificial intelligence, research and prototype. It's all over. Okay. That's the application of Wolfram language. Like, where is it used? Ching ching, thank you, Ian. By the way, I'm drinking milk, and this is milk banana milkshake. T34 keyboard. What is I don't know what is a T34 keyboard. Oh, remind me that I haven't finished. I haven't read this. I haven't finished reading it. I haven't, went back to read it. Yeah, remind me on Discord, please. Just paste to Discord keyboard. If you haven't already joined Discord, a lot diverse opinions, interesting people. And I rant my rants on Discord all the time. Not your problem, my problem. Can we talk about how we get your eList updates and if we can send you upstream pull requests? Oh, yeah. So Gay Yash, you bought my emaglist tutorial. I mean the emaglist, emaglist package. But I don't know your email. Can you please send me your email? So, be sure when you PayPal me, include your email. I looked, I cannot find your email. So do that, please. If you want updates, I'm a single person, I'm just a hacker. Okay, so I don't have commercial organization or I don't really have a streamlined system where you automatically get updates, those nice things. So everything is manual. So when you email me, you send me PayPal, someone sent me PayPal, I got money, I manually email it back to you. That's usually how it works with some help of my script, but it's not it's not under Amazon system or whatever payment gateway system. It's not like that. So it might take a day for me to respond. So right now I don't have a system to automatically send you update. I don't even have a decision on what kind of update, code update. For example, let's go to sub packages. So I'm starting to sell them. They have been open source for over 10 years. But open source, very sad story. It got me to near death by hunger. So right now they are still open source, but you pay me. But right now I don't have a system So if you want to update, the easiest just email me. Okay, you don't have to be shy. Not just you, a lot of people. You just say, Ksao, can I get this? I paid you. I bought this. On this month, last month, or whatever date, a year date, can you send me an update? Is there any update? I'll just do it. Okay. Once I got a lot of that, I'll start to have some kind of automation to do that. Right now, just ask me. I'm kind of free. I'm a free man, and I don't have a set up schedule and things like that. So I have heard some people say Wolfram language is slower than other language. Is that true? Yes, that is true. Because Wolfram language, you got all these, it's Wolfram language is the highest level language by a magnitude. Nothing comes close. You have C, okay, you have Fortran here, Fortran, the fastest. If you are talking about number crunching, Fortran is fastest. Okay, you have Fortran, C++, or C#, or C++, then C#, maybe Java. Then you have JavaScript. Then you have Perl, Python, Ruby. Then Bash. Kind of, and maybe Haskell somewhere. Haskell, Rust around C. Like that. Okay. Then you have Bash is the slowest. Okay. Then you have Mathematica, but Mathematica, the high levelness of Mathematica is certainly a magnitude beyond them. So if you want to talk about speed, okay, yeah, people are concerned. The C idiots, mostly particularly the Unix philosophy, the C plus plus, the Rust lovers, they are the idiot. They are the type who is chanting about speed, driveling about speed. Oh, speed, speed. They are idiots. They made the whole computing industry the most slow. They see. So if you want to, let's talk about speed. Okay. So I want to compute pi to 3,000 number of places. Okay. Give me pi to 3,000 number of places. Okay, do it. Speed. Are you talking about speed? How fast can you do this in C? Show me. Show. Where's the code? C is fast, right? Fortran is fast. Give me pi to 3,000 places. Okay, instantaneous there. Okay, so that's pi. Okay, 3,000 places is not enough. Let's say 30,000. Let's push the limit. Instantaneous, Jesus! If you add one more zero, then it's gonna take a day to scroll. Okay, now not just pi. Let's say I want the golden ratio. Okay. Now is that golden ratio? Oh, okay, golden ratio. Okay, give me golden ratio to 30,000 places. Oh, Jesus. Now let's solve some complicated differential equations. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, I forgot. I don't remember my mathematics. I don't remember the differential equations. So for example, solve. Okay, solve. Which function to use for solving different. Solving algebraic equations. Okay. Let's try some random. Okay, you get the point. Okay, so let's see. SOLV. Okay, solve there. Okay, solve. Attempt to solve the system expression of equations or inequalities for the variables vars. Okay, so you can it solve lots of things. So here's some examples. For example, we can try it. By the way, we can run code right here too, in the Wolfram documentation. But when you close it, it won't be saved. The documentation is protected. But you can, for example, let's say third power. Let's run the code right here. There it is. You are solving. Now this is a algebraic equation of third-degree polynomial. And what's the assumption? Assumption is x is what? A real number or complex number, okay? So here's a solution, okay? And typeset, try to do this in LaTeX, the Unix idiots, the open source idiots. Try to type this. It takes you 1 hour just to type that. Okay, so if you want the input form, for example, this you are looking at typeset, I press one single button, you got the input form. Okay, now let's copy one single button. Let's go to Emacs, new buffer, paste it. There it is. Okay, that's a solution of a algebraic equation. So C is fast. Try. How many lines of this in Wolfram language is one line? How many lines of is that in C? 10,000. 10,000, and it will take you a year to write it. Okay, like I said before, the Unix philosophy, the Unix idiots and the C idiots, they go hand in hand. They brainwashed the entire computing industry into some idiotic thought, like speed, portability, hackability, kind of like that. That's a C, that's a brain of the C. And today, Rust, okay, that's a same lineage, same kind of thinking. C++, Rust, this is kind of same type of people. They don't like Golang, on the other hand. Okay, so we talking, I'm demonstrating some speed. Okay, so speed, Wolfram language, and lots of other examples. Here we are showing some mathematical example. What about code? What about like algorithmic, like the things programmers do every day, we do every day? There's a lot, okay? There's too many, you just, one line of code is fast, okay? And also let me mention speed. Okay, anyway, so that's it for that. Okay. Okay, can Wolfram language hook up to GTK? Not to GTK, but there's a hook to Python, to Ruby, to Julia, to, I'm not sure about GTK. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Bye. So we shut down in 1 minute or 2. So right now I'm just going to close my, I'm going to link to what we talked about today. So okay, cut that. So let's see, what is this? Okay, I'm just going to document what we talked about today. Add Wolfram language, paste it here, show in browser. So that's the output. Okay, this keyboard, I might, this about layout article, I might talk about it. I might continue read about it. Remind me, okay, on Discord. So close that. Wolfram Alpha, we don't need it. Close that. So XRLE info, close that. Wolfram mathematical book, copy that, go back here. Okay. The Wolfram language, copy that, paste here, close that. Doc by dummies, indeed. Okay, doc by dummies. Okay, go back, close that, close that. Wolfram script tutorial, okay, it's already here, close that. Wolfram mod, okay, paste the link, close that. XR packages, okay, buy my packages. Thank you. Please subscribe. If you like it, please thumb up. If you don't like it, don't thumb down, okay. And please comment, okay. Am I an idiot or not? Please answer. Let me know what you think. I love you. Starfly keys, copy. Bye. Now you are looking at the power of XR HTML mod, showing browser. Fantastic. And Wolfram language, there it is. Pi. I'm curious. Let's add one more 0. Let's say pi to the 300,000. Let's see it will like explode my computer. Let's do it. Instantaneously. Let's scroll down. Pi to 300,000 places. Okay, so they got you got the full thing. So now let's say pi squared. Maybe you thinking, oh, they stored in memory maybe. So let's say pi squared. Okay, let's say square root of pi. Let's say pi times golden ratio. Okay, 300,000 places. Do it. Oh! There it is. Okay.